Hello, St. Peter's. Welcome back for another chapter book edition of our library time. Today, my friends and I, are going to start a new chapter book with you. So last week, we finished Muggy Maggie. If you haven't taken your AR quiz, don't forget Muggy Maggie by Beverly Cleary. If you forgot some of the parts, that's okay. Just go back on your Google Classroom or on YouTube and rewatch the videos, and then you can take your AR quiz. It is worth 1 point. All right, are you ready for a new story today? My friends are here, and they are really excited about this one. We have Ralph, Magic Monkey, Daisy's here, and of course, the Pig of Joy is here with her jar of joy, so we can spread our joy when we're finished reading. All right, are you settled in? Nice and calm and relaxed? Now it's your turn to just listen. Here's our new book. I found an amazing story about a library, and this is called The Buddy Files, The Case of the Library Monster. So it's still a mystery, but it's a lot different than Encyclopedia Brown. I think you're going to like it. Our author is Dori, Hillestad, Butler, and the pictures are by Jeremy Togo and Dan Crisp. So you do get to see quite a few pictures in this story. So the nice part about this story is it's told by the dog, okay? The library dog is telling the story. So here we go. Chapter 1, What is That? And here I want to show you a picture. Right away, here's the dog that's telling the story. So make sure you can see where we're at. You ready? Okay. Hello, my name is Buddy. I'm a therapy dog. That means I get to go to school with Mom and Connor every day. I lie down on a pillow in Mom's office or here in the library, and people come and pet me all day long. I love being a therapy dog. It's a very important job. I'm not just a therapy dog, though. I'm also a detective. A detective is someone who solves mysteries. There are a lot of mysteries to solve around a school. Right now, I'm working on a case I call The Case of the Four Lakes Elementary School Ghost. I don't know if there's really a ghost at this school. I don't even know if I believe in ghosts. Connor believes in ghosts. Connor is my human. He says a girl named Agatha went to school here a long time ago. She got burned in a fire, and now her ghost haunts the school. Scary. Here are some reasons that I think there could be a ghost here. I've seen doors close all by themselves. I felt cold air ripple through my fur. And just 112 days ago, or maybe yesterday, I heard strange noises under the floor in the library, like a ghost was trying to get out. Oh, but all of that could have been caused by the wind, my imagination. And I've never seen or smelled a ghost before. Some of Connor's friends say they've seen Agatha, but they weren't telling the truth when they said it. A dog always knows when a human is telling the truth and when a human is lying. Cat with no name says he's seen Agatha too. Unfortunately, there's no way to know if a cat is telling the truth. But my friend Jazzy also says she's seen a ghost. Jazzy is a dog, and dogs don't lie. If Jazzy says she saw a ghost, then she probably saw a ghost. Except, I'm still not sure I believe in ghosts. Miss Christie? A small voice cuts through my thoughts. I don't think Buddy is listening. The voice belongs to a girl who smells like orange juice, toast, peanut butter, and dog. I think Mrs. Warner said the girl's name was Gemma. Mrs. Warner is the alpha human at the library. Mrs. Christie is next in command. He's listening, Mrs. Christie says. Just because he's not sitting up doesn't mean he's not listening. Mrs. Christie is right. but so is Jenna. I wasn't listening. I was thinking about ghosts. I'm supposed to listen when kids come to the library to read to me. It's another one of my jobs at this school. So Mom and Mrs. Warner and Mrs. Christie all say it's good for kids to read to dogs, especially if those kids aren't good readers. They say kids who read to dogs feel more relaxed when they read. They enjoy reading more, and they become better readers. They're more willing to read out loud in class and start doing better in other subjects too. I feel very good about myself when I hear humans say that. But there's something Mom, Mrs. Warner, and Mrs. Christie don't know about me. I don't know how to read. Of course he doesn't. He's a dog. So here is a picture of Connor the dog reading with Gemma. Yep. When kids read to me, I don't know if they're getting all the words right, so I just listen and look at the pictures. Sometimes the pictures tell me if the words are right. Gemma reads, "Empty yellow buses cross the town." I think those are yellow buses in that picture. Well, some colors are hard for me to see. The buses look empty, unless there are ghosts inside them. And the buses look like they're crossing the town. I think Gemma read those words right. "You're so smart," I tell Gemma, licking her cheek. Peanut butter. I love peanut butter. It's my favorite food. Gemma giggles. "Don't lick me." She wipes her cheek with her arm and then points to the book in her lap. "Just listen to the story." Okay. I rest my chin on her knee. I like this book. It's all about school buses and what interesting lives they have driving around town, going this way, going that way. It would be fun to be a school bus, I think. All of a sudden, I hear a strange rustling sound. It's coming from those bookshelves over there. I raise my head and I watch a book on the bottom shelf slowly slides out of place. Excuse me. Then the book next to it slides out too. Those books are moving all by themselves. Oh no. Maybe there really is a ghost in this school. Snap, snap. There's a strange smell coming from these shelves. Oh, something I've never smelled before. Is this what ghosts smell like? "Okay, Gemma," Mrs. Christie says to the girl who's reading to me. "It's time to go back to your class." "Aww," Gemma groans. "Can I stay a little longer? I'm almost done with my book." "I'm sorry," Mrs. Christie says. "We have a special visitor coming this morning, so we need to stop." "Who's the special visitor?" Gemma asks. "Bob the reptile guy," Mrs. Christie replies. "He'll be here any minute, so I have to help Mrs. Warner set up for his visit. And Buddy needs to go back to Mrs. Keene's office." "Yes, but before I go back to the office, I need to find out if there's a ghost hiding in those bookshelves." Gemma closes her book. "Can I do a trick with Buddy before I go?" "A quick one," Mrs. Christie says. "Why don't you give him a high five?" I lift my paw and high five Gemma. Then I yank my leash out of Mrs. Christie's grip and hightail it over to the bookshelves, my leash dragging behind me. Whatever is over there, it's on the bottom shelf, behind all those books. I paw at the books until they drop to the floor, and whoa! That's not a ghost hiding in there. It's a monster, a strange, creepy-looking monster. Oh, no. Chapter 2, Busted. For a monster, he's not very big. In fact, he's way smaller than I am, and he doesn't have any fur. He has short, stubby legs with fingers and toes, scaly skin, and a long, skinny, blue tongue. I've never met anyone with a tongue like that before. Do you know what it is? Short legs, fingers and toes, scaly skin, and a long blue tongue. Think about it. You might be right. Let's find out. Who are you? I asked, sniffing him. What are you? And where did you come from? He stares at me with round little eyes. Man, he smells strange, sort of like sand and lettuce, but something else too. I notice an open window at the end of the aisle. Did you crawl in through the window? I ask. The monster scurries back behind the books. Hey, I say. More books fall to the floor. I'm talking to you. But that monster is fast. I climb over the books and stick my head under the shelf so I can see him. He's climbing up inside on the shelves. Where are you going? I ask him. You can't hide in our bookshelves. Mrs. Warner wouldn't like it. I hear footsteps behind me. What are you barking at, buddy? Mrs. Christie asks. More footsteps and another voice. What are all those books doing on the floor? Uh-oh. So here he is. Now he's been digging through the books to try to get that creature. The monster, as he calls it. Uh-oh. That's Mrs. Argus. She's a teacher here. For some reason, she doesn't like me very much. I keep telling Mrs. Keene that dogs don't belong in school. Mrs. Argus scowls at the books that are scattered around my feet. 2 or 5 kids appear around her. I can tell they think I'm a bad dog. It's not what you think, I tell them. There's a monster hiding in the bookshelves. Mrs. Christie smiles. I wonder if Buddy's found our mouse, she says. Mouse? Mrs. Argus leaps back. I don't think she likes mice any more than she likes me. It's not a mouse, I say. It's a monster, a real, live, blue-tongued monster. He's hiding behind the books. Let me try and get him to come out. So I scratch at the books and a few more come tumbling down. Okay, Buddy, Mrs. Christie says, grabbing my leash. She bends down and peers between the shelves. Do you see him? I ask, wagging my tail. Look up between the shelves. That's where he went. Hello? I hear a man's voice behind me. Do you ladies work here? I turn. Hey, who's that guy? And what's inside those cases he's carrying? Mrs. Christie stands up. Oh, you must be Bob, the reptile guy, she says. I'm Mrs. Christie. What's a reptile guy, I wonder? I walk all around him, sniffing him up and down. I thought that monster smelled strange. This guy and the stuff he's carrying smells even stranger. Like sand and sticks, water, hot light bulbs, and something else. Something alive. There's something alive in both of his cases. The man sets one of the cases on the floor and shakes Mrs. Christie's hand. Oh, yes, I'm Bob, he says. He offers his hand to Mrs. Argus, too, and she shakes it, but I can tell she doesn't want to. We're so happy to have you here, Mrs. Christie says. Let me introduce you to Mrs. Warner, and she can show you where to set up. She leads me and the reptile guy back to the storytime area. What about the monster, I ask. We don't want a strange monster running around loose on the library, do we? Of course, I also want to know what's inside those cases. They smell so interesting. I sniff the cases on the floor. I hear a soft sound inside. What is that? Is there a snake in that case? I've smelled snakes before, but I've never actually met one. They always slither away before I can meet them. Oh, I hope I can meet this one. I have quite a bit more to carry in, Bob says. Why don't I go get everything else out of my van, and then you can introduce me to Mrs. Warner. Mrs. Warner is talking to a group of kids over by the computers, but she hurries over before Bob can leave. I'm Mrs. Warner, she says, holding out her hand. You must be Bob. Thank you for coming today. Bob shakes her hand. My pleasure, he says. Mrs. Christie, would you help Mrs. Argus's class find some books? Mrs. Warner asks. I'll take Bob to the office to meet Mrs. Keene. She turns to Bob. While we're there, we'll page Mr. Poe. He can help you bring your things in. Okay, Bob nods. Do you want to take Buddy to the office with you? Mrs. Christie asks. Sure. Mrs. Warner reaches for my leash. I groan. I don't want to go back to the office. I want to meet the snake. I want to meet whoever's inside the other case, and I still have to find the monster that's hiding in the bookshelves. I don't think Mrs. Warner even knows there's a monster loose in her library. Come on, Buddy, Mrs. Warner says. No pulling on the leash. But, I say. Oh, but it's no use. Mrs. Warner and the reptile guy walked me to the office. One more, chapter 3. Who ever heard of a blue-tongued skink? Interesting. I sit on my pillow and watch long lines of kids troop past the office. I smell excitement in the air. Those kids must be going someplace fun. Stay here, Buddy, Mom says from her desk. Lie back down on your pillow. I sigh and lie down. I bet those kids are going to the library. I bet they're going to meet Bob the reptile guy, his snake, and whatever else he brought. Oh, maybe they'll even see the monster. I hate that there are interesting things going on in this school without me. If I listen hard, I can hear kids laughing and clapping and oohing and aahing in the distance. I wish I knew what they were laughing and clapping and oohing and aahing about. After 10 or 20 hours, Mom stands up. She grabs my leash. Oh, boy! I wag my tail. We're going somewhere. Ellie, Mom says to the lady in the main office outside Mom's office, I'm going to the library. I'd like to catch the end of the reptile presentation. Oh, boy! The library! I'll get to meet the snake after all. Okay, Ellie says. Do you want to leave Buddy here with me while you go? What? No! Oh, you don't mind? Mom asks. Oh, not at all, Ellie replies. Buddy and I are good friends. Would you like a treat, Buddy? Oh, treat? I swivel around so fast I'm facing Ellie. Oh, she tosses me a liver treat and I catch it in my mouth. I love liver treats. They're my favorite food. Would you like another one? Ellie reaches into her jar of treats and tosses me another liver treat. You bet! I catch that one in my mouth, too. Well, that's all for now, Ellie says, closing up the jar. Okay. I turn back to Mom. Can I please go to the library with you? But Mom is already gone. So here's a picture of Ellie tossing Buddy some treats, liver treats. Now remember, when he says he's talking, the grown-ups just hear him barking or making some sounds. So they don't really understand his words. That's why they're kind of ignoring what he's saying. I just want to make sure you understood that. Okay, ready? So how was the presentation? I asked Mom when she comes back 100 years later. What did you see? What did you do? Did you meet a snake? Oh, did you see the monster? Mom doesn't answer any of my questions. She takes me back to her office and sits down at her desk. I think she has work to do. It's okay, I tell her. We can talk later. I turn 1, 7, 4 circles on my pillow and plop down. Work time for Mom means nap time for me, but just as I'm getting settled, the light on the ceiling flickers. Mom and I both raise our eyes. The lights flicker again. Are the lights flickering out there? Mom asks Ellie. No, Ellie says. Are they flickering in your office? Yes, Mom says. Maybe the bulb is loose. She drags a wooden chair under the light, climbs up, and tightens the bulb. Hopefully that'll take care of it, Mom says. Then she goes back to work and I go back to my nap. After school, Connor stops into the office. His friend Michael is with him. Michael is my friend Mouse's new human. They live on our street. Hi, Connor. Hi, Michael. I say, sniffing them all over. I'm happy to see you. I'm happy to smell you. Oh, they both smell like Bob the reptile guy. Hi, buddy, Connor says, scratching my ears. Michael pats my back. Mom, can I go over to Michael's house? Connor asks. For a little while, Mom says, and then she says my favorite words. Do you want to take Buddy with you? Oh, please, please, please say you want to take Buddy with you. I tell Connor with my tail, swinging his tail back and forth. Sure, Connor says. Buddy likes Michael's dog. Oh, happy day. I get to go with Connor and Michael. I get to go to Michael's house. I get to visit Mouse. On the way to Michael's house, Connor and Michael talk about all the animals Bob the reptile guy brought to school. Snakes, tortoises, iguanas, and lizards. Which one was your favorite? Michael asked Connor as we crossed the street. I liked the bearded dragon. He was cool, Connor says. Oh, yeah, Michael agrees. But I think I like the lizard with the horns better. I've never seen a lizard like that before. Connor snorts. Did you meet Toby Bauer before he moved? Is he that kid in Mrs. Adler's class who brought 3 lizards to school last week? Michael asks. Yeah, Connor says. He had some of the weirdest lizards I've ever seen, and he had to give them away because his mom said he couldn't take them when he moved. I wonder if he found people to take them all. Michael shrugs. Well, I wanted to take them, but Mrs. Larson wouldn't let me. She says I already have a lizard. He rolls his eyes. Like a person can only have one lizard. Michael is what humans call a foster kid. That means he lives with the Larsons, but he's not really their kid. Can I see your lizard? Connor asks. Sure, Michael says. I want to see your lizard too, I say. I've never met a lizard before. But when we get to Michael's house, Michael and Connor put me in the backyard with Mouse and close the gate. Hi, buddy, Mouse says, bounding over to me. Hi, I say. I let Mouse sniff me and I paw at the fence. Hey, Connor, can Mouse and I come in and see Michael's lizard too? Connor doesn't pay any attention. He and Michael go in the house and close the door behind them. My tail droops. I shouldn't be surprised. Mouse is an outdoor dog. He hardly ever gets to go inside. Why do you want to see Michael's lizard? Mouse asks. He doesn't mean to yell. He's just so big that when he talks, it sounds like yelling. Well, because I've never seen one before, I say. It isn't very interesting, Mouse says. And it doesn't do much. I don't think it can even talk. Does it by any chance have a blue tongue? I asked. A blue tongue? I don't think so. Why would you ask that? I tell Mouse all about the monster in the library. Strange, Mouse says. And you don't know what that monster is or where it came from? No, I say. You dogs are so dumb, says a smug voice in the tree. I look up. It's Cat with no name. I don't like it when Cat shows up in the middle of my conversations with Mouse. I really don't like it when he calls me dumb. There are only about 4 or 5 animals in the whole world that have blue tongues, Cat says as he licks his paw. He doesn't tell us what any of these animals are. I think he wants us to ask so he can talk about how dumb we are some more. Don't ask, I tell Mouse with my eyes. He nods at me. I clench my teeth together. Don't ask, I tell myself. But I can't stop it. Okay, what animals have blue tongues? I say real fast. I hate that I said it at all. Cat jumps to the next branch. Giraffes and polar bears have bluish-black tongues, he says. It wasn't a giraffe or a polar bear, I said. What other animal has a blue tongue? Mouse asks. Well, there are dogs that have blue tongues, Cat says. He must be talking about chows or Shar-Peis. Those dogs have dark tongues. Then the monster I saw was definitely not a dog, I say. And his tongue was bluer than a chow's tongue or a Shar-Pei's tongue. It was bright blue. Oh, then it must be a blue-tongued lizard or skink, Cat says. There are actually 6 different species of them. They live in Australia. Is this Australia? Mouse asks. No, Cat says, rolling his eyes. It's Minnesota. I can't stand to be around such dumb dogs. He leaps to the ground and then slips through a hole in the fence. Mouse and I look at each other. I've never heard of a blue-tongued skink, I say. Me either, Mouse says. Maybe it's not a real animal, I say. You can't believe everything a cat tells you. Sounds like you have a new case to solve, Mouse says. The case of the library monster. I guess I do. Here's what I know about the monster so far. It's small. It has legs and a tail. It also has fingers and toes. Its skin is scaly. It's fast. And it can climb. Here's what I don't know about the monster. What is it? Where is it? Is it still in the library or did it go somewhere else? Where did it come from? Why is it in our school? Here's what I'm going to do now. I'm going to find out what I don't know. Well, that sounds like a good plan, buddy. We're going to stop right there. We read the first 3 chapters. What do you think? I think it's fun, and Buddy sure is curious, right? So that's the beginning of the case of the library monster. We will continue that next week. But for now, guess what? It's time to spread some joy. Are you ready, Joy? Let's do it. Shake it up. What do you think? How are we going to spread some joy today? Let's see. So many papers in there. Oh, this is a good one. We might have done it last week, but it's always good to do. Give 5 compliments. Now remember, a compliment is when you say something nice to someone, either about something that you know about them, what they're wearing, how kind they are, if they did something really amazing. Be like, wow, that was an incredible story that you read to us. Or that was a fantastic way you solved that math problem. Give them a compliment. Spread them out. Today, sometimes I say give compliments and you can either give them to all to one person or spread them out. Today, we're going to spread them out. Let's see how many compliments you can give. Even go more than 5. Maybe we can break a world record. If we all start giving compliments, then those people will probably compliment someone else because they feel good, and it'll go on and on and on, and pretty soon everyone you see is going to have a smile on their face and some joy in their heart because we started it with our fantastic compliments. Okay? So I hope you enjoyed the beginning of this story, and you know what the good news is about this? This one's worth 2 points. All right? We will finish it before the school year is done. So until next week, from Joy, my friends, and myself, we hope you have a fantastic week. Go give those compliments, and as always, keep spreading your joy.